because his fingers just, they're thinking the other guitar. It's the same problem I had with the 8-string guitar, where it's like, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to hit myself a nice A minor chord, and I hit the E flat, because my fingers just say go right in the center of the neck, because that's where it is, but it's not there. So I have to retrain my brain to fit the scale. And violins are exactly the same. It takes a while before you can play them with your eyes closed, if you want to use that analogy. And you will see people do that, where they do it all by feel. So that said, to give you an idea, how would I price these violins, knowing what I paid for them? So $75, pretty much the way it is. I changed out that, and changed out the tuners, which didn't cost me very much at all. If anything, I think I got literally $75, maybe $80 into this thing. Well, one of these Czechoslovakian made, not Czech Republic, but Czechoslovakian made violins. This is probably from about the 1940s or something like that. It plays very well. It stays in tune really well. It's probably my best stabilized violin, if you could ever say a violin is stabilized. It has a sweet sound. Someday it will get brand new strings on it. Someday. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen. The strings that came on it were really horrible. I basically took the really horrible strings off. Slightly less, no, they were just as horrible, but newer horrible strings off my electric violin, put it on here, and then I think I got a Dario on the E, because I think the E popped when I try to switch it from one violin to the other. But this violin, I would probably sell it between $300 and $400, because that's about what they go for. But considering the add-on, what's the add-on? For me to part with this, okay? So you could find one of these somewhere. I'm sure garage sale, maybe the odd fiddle factory might have one sitting there. They'll say, oh yeah, it's an old Czech Republic violin. They're very renowned for reliability. $275, $300, but it's a 1713, not 1716 or the 1724 or 1728. This is 1713. The haunted violin. Dun, dun, dun. And because of that, $750, sure. Once you have the story with it, just the conversation piece alone will make you money. You know what I mean? So that's the way I'm looking at it. 1930s high production fatso here. Fiddle Factory made Hornsteiner. I forget which Hornsteiner's son made this. There was 3 sons, I believe. You could probably find one of these somewhere on the planet. The upper end's about $600-700. I would probably $650 is probably $650 to $850 is probably what I would ask for something like this. Why? Because even though these things were made very quickly, they were these were kind of like the Walmart fiddle of the day. But they are, by today's standards, if you look at the finish on them. So 1930s, 1940s Hornsteiner, probably in that price range, because it does sound good, even though there was a lot of critiques of how it was made wrong and stuff like that. That's the other thing you have to keep in mind, is the critiquing is, like, for example, when the 1713 Stradivari came out, Stradivari hated it. He made it, for his ex-wife, and then he gave it to one of his sons, and he had a name for it, which I won't repeat. But, yeah, but it's the cursed violin, right? Again, if you know the story, you know the story. You guys are probably even interested in the story right now, so you can understand why you would attach value to the story, right? And I think the golden era of Stradivarius is between 1708 and 1716, and then there's a second period that people really like, is from like there to the almost to the mid 1720s or whatever. Now the Lionhead violin. Okay, here's the history on this thing. This thing was made by a fiddle factory in Germany. It was supplied only to the orchestras around there, and some orchestras in Czechoslovakia. Hence why this made it over there, then made it over here. And this is about I tracked it down to about 150 to 200 years old. Now, however, it doesn't have the tag